There is one choice that changed everything in my life, and it wasn't talent, luck, or motivation. And the crazy part is, I didn't make this decision one time. I had to make it over and over and over again. So if you're wondering why things aren't quite working well for you, I want you to stay tuned and maybe figure out why. As you can tell from the title of this video today, we're going to talk about the choice that changes everything. And I just want to stop here and first talk about the power of a choice. God literally gave us the gift of free will. That means we are able to make good choices and not so good choices. The power is really all up to us. And the crazy thing is that we get the opportunity, tens of thousands of opportunities per day, to make a choice that's going to get us closer to our destiny or maybe a little bit farther away. God literally has given us the power to choose life or death, with our words, with where we use our resources, with how we relate to other people, which relationships we form, which ones we don't, how we honor people, and all the likes. And so I want us to really sit with the fact that we all have the gift and we are all able. If you're watching this and you have a sound mind, you are able to sit back and make a choice every single day on the direction of your life. And that is powerful. Now, the one choice that changed everything for me was discipline. Yes, y'all, discipline is what changed the game for me. And it wasn't because of my personality. Discipline isn't personality based. It isn't based on your genetic makeup. You know, it literally is you making the choice in your mind every day to show up in whatever way you desire. And that changed the game for me. And I recognize that when we take the time to really sit with the mindsets that we have, why we have walked towards things, why we have not walked towards things, it will really show us that, man, a lot of things in my life that are happening right now are due to a choice, or maybe indecision. Now, indecision is a whole nother topic that we're going to save for later, because technically it still is a choice. But I'm going to talk to you about how discipline has changed my life personally. Okay, so at the start of 2025, I had no idea this was going to be one of my hardest years, and that I would have to utilize my insurance in multiple ways within my year. Starting off with a car accident that I was in May, then utilizing my health insurance for a crazy toothache that I had, and then utilizing our home insurance for our house flooding with our washing machine. Literally had no idea that I would have to utilize these things that we just discipline ourselves to invest in, honestly made a choice to invest in because we knew the importance of it, but we never knew when we would have to utilize it. Now, my husband's background is in insurance, and so with him being in insurance back in the day, he really enforced the importance of our family investing in it. And insurance, some people can say, oh, it's a scam, it's this and it's that, but I want to say that it has been a blessing in my life. And this is not an ad for investment insurance. We have no insurance to sell. We don't even do that anymore. So you're probably wondering, what does insurance have to do with discipline and making a choice and all those things? I want you to know that nothing about investing into insurance felt spiritual. It didn't feel like, oh, I feel so called and moved to invest in this. I must do this. I have this feeling in my heart and I have this desire to invest in insurance. It was like, no, we need this and we will probably need it one day. I don't hate that I have to give so much money every single month, but it is a wise choice. Knowing what I know about how life can happen, and I want y'all to know, if you're a believer, the scripture says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. And listen, you are expecting a miracle. When these things happen, sometimes houses, you know, get damaged, cars get damaged, you get in accidents. Not prophesying that over you, but these things happen and afflictions will happen in your life. But sometimes the aid is just a simple, wise decision, a choice to say, hey, because I know that afflictions are a part of my life, let me go and make sure that I'm covered. And because we invested into that insurance, we were able to cover so much did not have to come out of our pocket financially because we were already covered. And that is what making a choice does for you. It covers you when you didn't know that you needed to be covered. It keeps you when you realize, dang, I should have made this decision, but I didn't. And it's so important that in this day and time, you make the choice to invest in your life spiritually, emotionally, mentally, your health wise, because you will never know when you have to call on that choice and you have to rely on the choice that you made or you didn't make. And let's talk about another way that discipline has radically changed my life. Listen, when you start investing into your health, I'm in my 30s, in my mid 30s. There are some things that I will never have to deal with because I am making a choice now to deal with my sugar intake, to deal with how much flour I'm taking in, how much gluten I'm taking in, how much movement I'm getting in throughout the day. There are things that people in my peer group and my friends are dealing with health-wise that could have been prevented. And what you don't want to do is get to a place that you need treatment over things that you could have just prevented. And that is what a choice does for you. Being disciplined and saying, hey, I know I may not be in my 90s right now, but guess what? You don't actually have to be in a wheelchair in your 90s. There are plenty of people in their 90s still driving, going to the grocery store themselves. But the choice that you make today will determine what your elder years will look like. And so that's why it's important, friends, to go ahead and make the choice that will change everything for you right now. All right, y'all, so let's talk about indecision, because if a choice can change everything for you, then indecision can also cost everything. Sometimes not making a choice is probably sometimes more powerful than not making a choice. You ever notice, like, if you're in a group text or you're just texting somebody and you ask them a question, you know it's a little touchy, but then they don't say nothing and they don't make a decision towards it, and it's like crickets, and sometimes that silence is the answer. Yeah, that's what it's like with indecision. For example, you didn't say no to working out and taking care of your body, but you also didn't say yes. So what did that result in? You actually just not doing it. You didn't want to vocalize it out of your mouth because, okay, yeah, that sounds bad, but you also didn't commit to it and you also didn't move towards it. So that indecision will actually keep you stuck for years because in your mind, you tricked yourself to say, well, I never said no to it, but sis, bro, you never said yes. And meaning to do something and actually doing it is two different things. So that gap in between of meaning to do it is costing you a lot, okay? Like, I'm meaning to pay my bills, but in the meantime of meaning to do so, I actually was late on that bill and now I'm paying more. So therein lies the problem, because now you're paying for late fees that you never had to pay because you meant to pay a bill, but you never actually paid the bill. How many late fees are we experiencing and having to pay in our life because we just didn't decide to just do the thing? And I'll be the first to testify, because sometimes when life gets a little busy, I cannot tell you how many times it's happened when we lived in Florida, where it was just like I turned on the sink, no water comes out, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? And immediately I know what it is. Girl, you've been so busy that you have not taken the time to pay the water bill, because it was so taxing. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And by the time I quote unquote got to it, it was too late. And you never want to put yourself in a situation where now it's too late because you keep putting it off. What are you putting off that you're gonna later regret and say, dang, I had to pay more for it on the other side? And truth be told, I don't want you to have to pay more for what you didn't have to in the first place. I don't want myself to have to do that. I don't believe that you're irresponsible. You're just inconsistent. And that inconsistency is showing up in more ways than one. Remember what the word says. It says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. So you're trying to walk around or walk on a tightrope, because life can sometimes feel like a tightrope, but you're teetering and tottering, and guess what? You can't even move forward because you're just trying to get your balance. And there are some areas in your life that you can no longer afford to just try to get your balance for 5 years, and you never make progress towards where you're going. Now it's time to make a decision. And guess what? God is not going to make that decision for you. He said, I am giving you life and death. Choose ye this day who you're going to serve. I'm putting the onus back on you, because remember the gift of free will, right? So he's like, hey, I've given you a mind to be able to judge what is right and what's wrong, to be able to discern what Holy Spirit is leading you to do and also what the flesh is leading you to do. Now with what I've been giving you, I'm throwing it back to you. The ball is in your court. What are you going to do? And in this time, I am encouraging you to make a choice, and you know what that choice needs to be. For some of you, it's getting your finances in order. For some of you, it's getting your health in order. For some of you, it's getting your family in order and making them a priority again. For some of you, it's creating boundaries at work. For some of you, it's coming out of your shell and showing up as a person that you know that you're called to be, but you keep hiding yourself. It is a choice, and it will change everything. I have a quote that I have lived by from my mentor a long time ago, and it says, I make daily decisions aligned with destiny, paying systematic attention to divine details. And all that means is every day I choose to walk towards my destiny, because it's just simply a daily decision. And that is what I decided to do. It was in 2024, July of 2024, where Holy Spirit was just like, hey, you have this time where your children are away for summer, and you can try to make more money, or you can change your mindset, you can change your health, and you can be a better person. You can be whole when your children come back. What do you want to do? And I said, okay, God, I'll take the challenge. And he led me to investing in my dreams every single day for 15 minutes a day, to working out, getting some type of movement in, even if it's just a walk for 30 minutes per day. The other thing was a spiritual investment, depositing something spiritually every single day. And then lastly was removing something from my diet that I know I ain't had no business eating, Because if you know diabetes runs in your family, if you know liver failure and kidney failure runs in your family, you probably don't want to be drinking a lot of dark sodas. I'm speaking to myself right now. You probably don't want to be eating all the sweets, right? You can find some healthy alternatives. I just made me some gluten-free, sugar-free banana nut muffins, banana nut bread and muffins this morning, and they were so good. I might have to put a picture in here somewhere, but they were so good because I found alternatives that were better for me. I found out that gluten and me, we don't get along. We don't. And so I had to decide that my health is important, and that I don't want to get to, you know, my 50s and 60s and they're telling me I'm pre-diabetic and I need a transplant and all these different things. It's so important that we catch these things now. And so I made the choice to walk towards my destiny. And if I know nothing else, so many people are like, I don't know my purpose in life, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going through a career shift. And you are so much more than your career and your identity. But guess what? You know, you do have a life. You have breath in your body. You can take care of your physical body. You know that you have a God to worship, to adore, to commune with every day. You can get closer to him. You have relationships that are around you. You can value them. You can water your garden. If you didn't watch that message, I definitely encourage you to do that. But yeah, in this season, it's so important that you make that choice. And I don't know what that choice is for you. I would love for you to share it below. But the choice that changed my life was being disciplined. And through that discipline, I was able to see changes in my body that I have never seen before. I saw myself have the energy that I never had, because life had felt so taxing, but I wasn't adding to it by eating trash food. It was only making it worse. I found out that actually you do have the stamina. When you move your body, when you fuel yourselves with the right things, you actually do have the energy. You just wasn't stewarding your body properly. And so that is my invitation to you, to steward this time properly. So in this season, y'all, I want you to think about the choices that you need to make. Lock in on at least one that you know will change the game for you. I know one thing that I literally was off this year. Lord told me to be consistent with your financial reviews and budgeting and all those different things. And by the time I got to the end of this year, I knew exactly why he said that. And I wish I could report a testimony on how that changed my life, but guess what? It didn't, because I was not consistent. So I am not here as the trophy girl of she gets it right all the time. I do not. But I know that there is fruit in when I actually do commit to being disciplined and being committed to it. And so I'm looking to recommit, and not meaning to be disciplined in this area, but really committing to it. So I empathize with you. But my encouragement for you is to find that thing, lock in on that thing, and watch God change you from the inside out. And that's what you want to be. You want to be transformed. You want to look more like Jesus. You want to be whole. You want to be complete, lacking nothing, so that you can be good for your relationships, for yourself, internally, mentally, and emotionally, and for your career, whatever that may be. But I promise you that starts with you and you making the choice. But I'm so excited about what is to come and the choices that you are going to make in alignment with your destiny. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.